Hi everyone, it's AJ Rousell. I'm one of the drum tutors at Bristol Rock Centre and welcome to the Bristol Rock Centre YouTube channel. The point for this is to give you some stuff to work on while everyone's at home. Everything I'm going to teach you today is done on a pad, and the next few videos as well will all be practice pad based stuff, so you can do it either on a drum kit, on a practice pad, on a cushion, on the floor, anything really. So as long as you're kind of still drumming and still enjoying it, we can still get better even though we're all staying at home at the moment. So the point for today's lesson is to give you a warm-up that I think's really helpful. It develops some hand speed, some coordination, and also you can take it as far as you want to in terms of skill. So for me, a really good warm-up is something that's fairly simple, not too much to think about, but you can make it as hard or as easy for yourself as you want to, and I think this warm-up really helps with that. So this is one of those warm-ups that I actually can't remember where it came from. I've been given this many times by a lot of teachers, so I thought it would be a really good one to share today. There's probably lots of videos of it on YouTube somewhere. It's 6 notes long. It's dead easy. So the way we're going to think about it is we're going to play 6 notes and we're just going to have combinations of rights and lefts. But the really good thing with this warm-up is that your hands do pretty much exactly the same thing. They get basically the same workout, even though the rhythm changes slightly. So the first thing you need to learn is basically 2 halves. The first half is dead easy, 3 notes long. So we're going to do one big right hand, and this is going to be an accent, so it's going to be louder than the other ones. Dead easy. The next 2 notes are going to be 2 left hands, but they're going to be quiet. So if we now string this together, we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The trick for this is keep it nice and slow. You want that right hand to deliberately sound a lot louder than the 2 left hands. And the trick for this, even though it's simple, is at this point you want to be checking your technique. You want to be checking whether your hands look the same, whether they're holding the sticks right, whether they sound good, so whether those left hands actually sound even, or whether they sound quite inconsistent. So far so good. So that's the first half of the warm-up. The second half is you're basically going to flip the roles that your hands are doing. So instead of going right, left, left, so loud right hand, 2 quiet lefts, we're going to literally flip it and do the exact opposite. So we're going to do 2 quiet right hands and then 1 loud left hand. So now we've got right, right, left, right, right, left. Most people find if you're right-handed, this one feels slightly weirder because we're not used to leading with the left hand or having the left hand playing the accent, should we say. So having the left hand playing the dominant part of the rhythm. And what you'll normally find is your right hand will want to start creeping up and trying to join it. And the trick for this is to keep the right hand nice and low. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 bar of each and then put them back to back. So if we're counting this in 3s, so we're going to count it in triplets. So the first bar is going to be 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Then we're going to switch to 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So the whole sticking goes right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left. So whole thing straight through. On repeat, sounds like this. Now one of the more tricky bits about this is because the accent moves, it can be really easy to move your counting with it. So you can almost start to hear that loud left hand as the downbeat, as beats 1, 2, 3, 4. So the trick for this is to still try and maintain some element of pulse throughout. So trying to still make sure you're counting it so you know where those downbeats are. So if you just count the downbeat out loud, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slightly trickier because that left hand accent can be really easy to kind of shift your perspective of where the downbeat is. So like I said at the start, the joy with this sort of warm-up is it's not complicated, but just because it's not complicated doesn't mean it's not difficult. So the goal for this is now it's just about speed. You just got to see how fast you can now start pushing this while it still sounds good. So this is where beginners and advanced drummers can do this. So we'll start super slow. We'll start around kind of 75 BPM, and then we'll see where we go from there. So the click's now at 75 beats per minute. Let's give this a go. We'll do it around a few times, and then we'll see if we can start putting the speed up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And remember what I said, it's about trying to keep those accents nice and high and those ghost notes really low. You want to try and get the gap between those two notes as vast as possible. Otherwise you end up kind of sounding all the same, then you lose a lot of that rhythm. So this is quite a jump now. We've gone up to 100 beats per minute. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do a bigger jump again. This one is a big jump, so make sure when you're practicing this, you go up in little increments, let's say like 5 BPM at a time. You'll suddenly hit a point where the whole thing feels like it's going to buckle slightly and suddenly sound not comfortable. And the goal at that point is to go back a step and think, okay, where was the last speed it sounded good? And then sit there for a few days, see if you can kind of make it really comfortable at that speed. Then we can try pushing forward again. But all these speed ups should be in little increments. We shouldn't be jumping 20 plus kind of BPM at a time. We will for this lesson to show you how far you can take it, but when you're practicing it, nice and slow, little 5 BPM increments every time. So we're jumping up quite a bit now. This is 150. Here we go. And now this is the final speed, so this is 200. So this is, again, a big jump. If you can get to this speed, then great, but the goal is it still has to sound good. There's nothing impressive about a drummer that can play really fast but really messy. Anyone can do that. The thing that separates the good drummers from the great drummers are the ones who can play at a fairly good speed, but it still sounds good. So I'm not saying this is going to sound good, because obviously I still practice this a lot, but 200 BPM, let's give it a go. Here we go. That one is a push. 200 is quite quick. So it's a really good exercise for practicing all this stuff. You can find that when it's at a slow speed, it's all about control. It's about, are your hands doing the right thing, and can you get those accents sounding good? The easier that gets for you, the harder you can then make it by trying to then push the speed a bit further forward. If you get good at this, essentially, you're getting good at the only 2 options we really ever use as drummers, which is singles and doubles. 90% of what we play on the drum kit is made from singles and doubles. So if you get good at these 2 options, you're basically training your body to be able to play the 2 options we're going to use the most, singles and doubles. As soon as you start moving this around the kit, you get loads of ideas straight away. But it starts on the pad, and it starts with control, and it starts with knowing exactly what's going on before we try and apply it to the drum kit. So I hope that was good fun. Hope it all makes sense. Drop Bristol Rock Centre an email with any questions at all, and we'll see you for the next video for another practice pad warm-up for you to try. Hope everyone's having a great day, and I'll catch you all soon.